Hey there, it's John from Heroes and Legends. Welcome to another Magic the Gathering Top 10 list. Today we're going to look at the top 10 most valuable foil cards from Nemesis. Now, Nemesis was the second set in the Mercadian Mass block, and it was only the fourth time that premium foil cards were featured in a Magic set. So this is still new stuff, it's still in its infancy at this point. Now, as always, the foil market is pretty much driven by Vintage, Legacy, Cube, Commander, maybe some other multiplayer type style players. It doesn't always mean that these cards are legal in all those formats, but that's typically who's driving these prices. So let's go take a look, starting at number 10, which is Alyna Sivad Defiant Hero, and she's coming in at $13.37. This card sees a lot of play in Commander. Of course, it's a linchpin for the Rebel strategy, but it can also see play in some cubes as well if cubes are trying to put together a strategy like that. Number 9 is Flame Rift, coming in at $14.19. You can probably guess why this one's popular. This is great in Commander or any multiplayer game. For only 2 mana, you get to do 4 damage to all players. That's pretty awesome if you're playing at a table with 4, 5, 6 players, and that does include yourself. But if you're playing the right type of deck, that won't matter too much. Number 8 is Blinding Angel, coming in at $15.15. Now, this is a good card. I have seen it played in Commander. I have seen it in a number of cubes, as a matter of fact. It's not super efficient, 5 mana for a 2/4 flyer, but it's making opponents skip a combat phase if they can't deal with this card does kind of create a little bit of a soft lock. So it's not a horrible card, but at the same time, I think what drives the price on this one is more so the artwork. The artwork on this foil, if you get to see it in person, is very, very good looking. Number 7 is Parallax Wave, coming in at $17.48. Basically, an interesting take on a board sweeper, and you see this a lot of times in cubes. Some cubes will just run a real tight white control strategy with cards like Wrath of God, Day of Judgment, Parallax Wave. Others will use Parallax Wave as the white board sweeper, basically just to do something a little different than people aren't used to seeing. Regardless of what type you're using, though, board sweepers are very powerful, and this is a very powerful card. Number 6 is Massacre, coming at $17.99. So a couple of things here. The clause that you can pay it without paying its mana cost if an opponent controls a planes is very good in multiplayer games, because odds are somebody is going to be controlling planes. But this is also a very good card to deal with white weenie strategies or token strategies that are even in other colors. And you see this in cubes, and you also see this played in Commander. Number 5 is Skyshroud Claim, coming in at $19.95. So at first glance, this is another one of those, okay, I pay and I get to search for a couple lands, I put them in play. That's pretty awesome. What makes this card really great, though, is the fact that they go into play. They don't go into play tapped. It's a very fast card. And on top of that, you get to pull forests. Not basic lands, but forests. So that opens you up to pulling your dual lands, your shock lands, your battle lands, those type of lands that carry the forest distinction. That's pretty awesome. So this is a fantastic card, sees tons of play, and because of that, it's going to have a relatively pricey foil version. Number 4 is Submerged, coming in at $20.17. Again, great for multiplayer. If anybody's playing a forest, you get to play this for free. Another thing that's interesting about Submerged, typically nowadays when you see this type of mechanic, it's a sorcery and not an instant. So playing this at instant speed does make it much more powerful. Number 3 is Tango Wire, coming in at $42.73, and this is another card that is actually very strong, and you'll see this play at times in Vintage and Legacy, but also a really big cube card. You see this card show up in a lot of cubes. Number 2 is Core Haven, coming in at $47.52. That's a rare legendary land, so those typically hold a bigger price tag. And when you look at the ability, it's pretty good. For just 2 mana, you can negate a creature's combat damage. What's nice about that is when you're playing in a multiplayer environment especially, it really makes people just not want to attack you. It's going to set up some bad combat situations for your opponents, so if there's a choice of attacking you or someone else, they're probably just going to attack someone else if you have this on the board. And of course, coming in at number 1 at $105.95 is Daze. What more can I say about Daze that hasn't been said in the past? This card is a house. It sees play in Vintage, Legacy, and basically anywhere it's legal, it's going to see play. Cubes love to run it, of course. Just a fantastic card, probably second to Force of Will for that surprise counterspell that's out there that you can play when you're tapped out. So Daze just a huge card, and there's not a lot of opportunities to pick this one up in foil. Basically, even though it was a common, you have to remember the print run on Magic was a lot lower in those days than it was today, and print runs on foils was also lower in ratio than they are today. So this is still very hard to come by, even though it is a common. So having said that, hey, as always, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day.
Hey, thanks as always for watching. This video, like all my videos, was made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Even a donation of $1 helps me to keep growing this community and creating better quality videos for all of you. Check out our Patreon page for exclusive giveaways and future goals for the channel. If you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the MTG news, spoilers, set reviews, product openings, or finance videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a good day.